bro? Oh, you wanna fight? You wanna fight, bruv? I got you. Welcome aboard the Sauce Train, everyone. Today we're going to be reviewing a brand spanking new VR dungeon crawler called When Wardens Fall. It's a great game, it's really immersive, really fun, and it actually nearly gave me a panic attack, but we'll talk about that as we get into this review. As always, let's start with graphics. I wasn't sure about this game when I first signed in, and graphics was one of the main points. It goes for a realistic aesthetic, and that can be really tricky to pull off. One of the things that caught my eye right away was the fact that there was this weird skewing effect when you tilted your head side to side, but as I started actually playing the game, it was not noticeable at all, so there was really no problem there. The graphics themselves looked great. It was a little dark for my taste, but that almost adds to the immersion because you really do feel like you're traveling through a dungeon that's lit by nothing but torches. The weapons all have a different, unique look to them. The bad guys wear different armor and stuff, and you can tell when they're wearing it. All in all, the graphics are great. I have to give it a 4 out of 5. Next, let's move on to sound. The sound of the game was really minimal, so much so that at first I thought it would be a con. However, I think that adds to that kind of creepy factor that the game gives you, and that made me kind of flip out and have to actually take off the VR headset at one point. All you really hear is the sound of torches, some shuffling of feet behind doors, and the occasional like panting of a bad guy. It's really minimal, there's no music or anything like that, but at the same time kind of off-putting because of it. Every shuffle you hear kind of makes you just that little bit more panicked. I will say, however, that swinging weapons kind of just produced a generic sound, like a swooshing noise. It was kind of a cheesy sound. It's used in a lot of games by now. Back, baddies. Ugh. Yeah, get your helmet off. Get wrecked. Oh yeah, take an axe to the head. And a lot of like probably even movies and stuff. Just it wasn't super. I don't know. Do swords really make a swishing sound when they go through the air? It just it just kind of left me feeling eh. But overall, I'm gonna give sound a 3 out of 5. I think even now I'm not sure how I feel on it. The game really did immerse me enough to make me freak out, and sound definitely plays a part in that. But at the same time, I do feel like I would have liked some music or something, especially maybe even in the like apothecary part of the game, which we'll get to in the gameplay section. Then there's the always important movement aspect, and this, in my opinion, is this game's biggest downfall. The game features a teleportation system and a unique but problematic custom like dodge mechanic. All you can do is teleport into different places, and then if you hold the trackpad on your right hand, you will be able to dodge by shifting your head, back, front, side to side. But overall, the dodging, this is the only game to implement it, so it's not natural to use. And then additionally, it was hard to kind of figure out just how far I would dodge. So it was no better than teleportation, if anything a little bit less convenient. And overall, I would have really liked to see this game with a smooth trackpad movement. I feel like the teleportation really detracts from the immersion. You get into situations where you tangle yourself up on your cords and stuff because you've teleported the wrong way and now you gotta turn around, and it's just not ideal. Game's biggest downfall for sure. I think this is going to have to be a 1 of 5. It just really took away from the game. As far as the sweat factor goes, you will sweat in the game. It's not going to be a lot, but do expect to sweat, especially in longer play sessions. Next, let's talk gameplay. This is one of the best parts of When Wardens Fall. It's fun, simple, easy to jump into, but challenging at the same time. In both of my playthroughs, I didn't make it past level 3. I think on the first one I died on level 2 because I caught myself on fire with a potion that I didn't know what it did. And then on the third playthrough, I actually did make it to level 3, but I couldn't find the next door, and then I just started kind of freaking out, and I took the headset off. And that's kind of what this game is about. It's really challenging. You really do feel like you're diving deeper and deeper into a dungeon, but at the same time, there's this cool like apothecary setup that you can find if you go into the right room, where you can brew your own potions. I was able to brew some poisons that worked and did different things. Actually, I do wish that the poisons that there was some sort of guide to what the different ingredients would do, because a lot of it is just, okay, I'm gonna throw this in a boiling pot or throw this in a mortar and pestle and grind it, and then put it into a potion and see what happens. So I did make an ice potion at one point, but then there was 2 other potions that I made and used that were poisons for my blades, and I had no clue what they did. I just assumed they were banishing demons to hell, and that was the effect of the potion, because there was no clue. But the ice one was cool. It actually even made them kind of freeze in place, which was neat. So yeah, there's this whole apothecary section of the game where you can just make different potions, and I assume if I spend more time there, I would learn eventually, oh, okay, this ingredient's the ice ingredient. And then there's also a large number of weapons. The game says on the Steam page that it's only 12 weapons, but I actually feel like there's a lot more. And again, it doesn't really hold your hand. It doesn't tell you, hey, this weapon has +7 attack, and this weapon has +6. So at no point do you really know whether, like, the sharp stabby thing you're picking up is really better than this sharp stabby thing, but it's still cool because you can pick weapons that look cool, and that's what matters in games anyway, is looks.
Nobody cares about stuff.
At one point I was dual wielding a pike and a pike with a curved end just because I could, and I would just stab things. It was cool. So yeah, there's a lot of different weapons. Like in the starting room, you'll notice there's a whole wall, or a whole room filled with like 3 walls, maybe 4 walls of different variations of the 12 weapon types. Really cool. And then one of the things I noted too, and I didn't get very deep into the game, definitely something I want to do as time goes on, but one thing I noticed too is daggers, you could hold them like with the sword pointing this way, but also with the sword pointing like that way, so you could hold it like this and kind of do this. Man, and I'm sore, but kind of do this action. I'm actually sore because of the VR fitness thing I'm doing. Check out that video. I have like a raw unedited first workout, but I'll also be putting up some other videos later this week about that. So all in all, the gameplay is going to get a 5 out of 5 for me. I think it was really, really good. It really shined. Again, this game, really the only downfall was that movement system. So as for the overview, I'm going to have to give this game an 8 out of 10. And the reason being that it really struggles only from that missing locomotion system. You need to have a smooth trackpad movement system. Teleportation's just not going to cut it in a modern VR game. One of the cool things is that the developers said that co-op mode is on their roadmap. When that happens, I'm definitely going to re-review this game, because a co-op dungeon crawler in VR just sounds epic. Plus, if I have somebody in there with me, maybe I won't freak out and leave the game because I'm too scared. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this view, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so hard that it looks like the Liberty Bell.